Hello class, I'm Fernando Hernandez and this week we are going to learn about Favicon and htaccess file. The first question you may have is, what is a Favicon? Well, the answer is really simple. You may notice a little image or icon next to your site URL or tab in your browser, or probably you have seen them in your bookmark list. Those are the Favicons. Some sites have a personal icon, others just use a default icon such as globe or the hosting company icon, for example Bluehost. Regardless what icon you have, you can set your own icon in a simple way. This icon helps you to promote your brand, especially if you are using your own logo. Your visitors will find your site easier by searching the icon in their bookmark or favorite list, and you will have a professional look in your site. But how a file icon should be? It is a file named Favicon with an icon extension, and it's a 16 by 60 pixels image. You can create your own icon with any image processor. If you want some transparency, you can save it as PNG. Then you can use one of the many online tools to convert it into an image, the image into an icon. Then you have to upload your icon into your site. When you have your icon file, you just have to upload it into the root of your site as you do with any other file. Most hosting companies will automatically read your icon and display it on the browser in all your pages, but it's recommended to add a link tag inside of the head tag in your HTML file. Now you may have uh, Now you may have some subdomains in your site and you want to display different icons on it. Well, you can add a Favicon file to each subdomain root and then add a link tag to the pages in your subdomain. The link tag is link rel equals icon href equals icon dot ico, or the path where your icon is. Next topic is htaccess file. This is a file that helps you to configure Apache web server based. Currently, many hosting providers use Apache as their server software, and that's the case of Bluehost and Dreamhost. But what is this file? Where can I find it, and why is it important to have it? What it is a file named htaccess and doesn't have any extension file. It is placed in the root of your domain and helps you to have a cache control, use custom error pages, add password security, or redirect your site. So now, how I create it? Some hosting providers add a HTTPS file by default when you set your domain, and that is the case of Bluehost. Others, as Dreamhost, you had to create it. You can create your file with a text editor like Windows Notepad or the text editor on Mac. Then you name the file as htaccess and save it without an extension file. You can do this by on a Windows computer by deleting the extension file before save it. Or if you are using a Mac computer, you can do it by pressing the Shift, Command, and T keys to convert your file into a plain text. Then proceed to save it, but make sure you uncheck the if no extension is provided, use that txt box before saving it. I recommend not adding the initial doc to the file at this point. The reason is that many computers and hosting servers hide all the files that had a dot at the beginning. You can add this dot once the file is on the web. You can you just have to rename it by using your file manager such as FileZilla. So now, one of the things you can do with this file is add some cache control. You may have this library browsing caching suggestion when you were testing your site, sorry, in thinking with google.com. So what is cache? It's a Cache will store some of your files from your site, such as CSS, JavaScript, HTML, media files, etc., and use them the next time the user tries to visit your site again. So this will reduce the site loading time, save you bandwidth consuming, and improve the site performance. And there are two ways to set your cache. First, the long but more personalized way is to add the following code. And this code will have the command as the expires by type. And then you have the type file. In this case, we have image. And then the extension file as a JPG. And then you have the time you want to keep this file. In this case, we set the time for the image as 1 year. So that means that for once the user visits the site, that all the images that are JPG, they are going to stay on storage on the user computer for 1 year. You had to set a line for each different kind of image or text file like CSS, HTML, or any other document on your site. Then the second and short way is add this code, and this means that every CSS, JPG, and PNG, GIF, and JavaScript and icon file is going to be storage on the computer for 1 month. And so you have to set the time you want to keep this file in seconds. So 1 month means 2,592,000 seconds. So this is the hardest thing with this method, that you have to convert every day or week or even year into seconds. Then the next topic I want to talk is the errors pages. So you can use custom error pages in your site, and you just have to type the following code for each error you may have. In this case, you have the error document 401 and or the 404, that is the most common that you have, and then you have the path to the error page. But why should I use personalized error pages? Why not use the boring default page? Well, you can use your custom error pages to provide some instructions to your users, or what to do next when they are, or what are the possible causes of this error. This will help your customers to find what they want in your website instead of just closing the browser. Another thing that you can take advantage of this file is password security. This will allow you to block access to your full or partial directory to not allow the users or admins. You will need to create a password file with the valid users and encrypted passwords on it. Then you have to add the file to the path into your htaccess file. This password file is named htaccess and is the same as the htaccess file. It doesn't have an extension file. And when you create it, you just had to add the path so Apache can read what are the users that are allowed to check the directory of your website. The last thing we are going to talk today is redirecting. And redirecting is taking the user from one part to another place in my domain, or even in a completely different domain. We can do that by adding the following line into our htaccess file. This line includes the old content and where we want the customer to be redirected. So we had the old URL or files, and then we had the new URL that we want to the user to move on. But why should I want my user to go somewhere else than my site? In some cases, websites have different versions, or may have some old content. So using redirect can take our visitors that request an old file version to the newest version. Or you may have a long time .net or .info domain where you reach a lot of visitors each day, but you just get the .com domain and you want to use it as your main domain without losing your visitors. Using redirects in your other domains will take your visitors to your .com domain regardless they visit the .net or the info domain. So these are some of the functions you can do with a htaccess file, and there are many others you can find on the internet, but these are the basics. Adding this file to your domain will improve your website performance, and you can and we have a lot of things to personalize your site. So I hope you can uh, do it, and you can contact me if you have any questions or need any help. And I hope you have a great week.